Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today we are saying hello to the Z-52, the tier 10 German destroyer, the almighty Z-52, yes, with its hydro and everything. Anyways, we are playing on Atlantic. We have a Midway, Kurfürst, 2 Yamatos, North Carolina, Tirpitz, Hindenburg, Moskva, Chapayev, Gearing, Z-52, and a Fletcher. On the enemy team, there is a Midway, Kurfürst, 2 Yamatos, Alabama, Bismarck, Minotaur, Moskva, Baltimore, Z-52, Shimikaze, and a Benson. And I am joined with a division mate, a clan mate of mine, Ski. I believe Ski's been on my channel before, but he is taking out his gearing. I believe it's his only tier 10 destroyer, I think, something like that. Anyways, not to talk about that. Let's talk about the Z-52. Z-52 is, say with me, exactly the same as the Z-46. Sorta. Well, there's a lot of similarities between the Z-46 and the Z-52. There's honestly not that huge of a difference. There are very few minor changes from the Z-46 to the Z-52. So anyways, talking about the battle itself, there is obviously someone in cap. We have pushed into B. All of our destroyers are currently actually separating into going towards a cap in each direction. So torpedoes are actually decently ranged, 10.5 kilometers, 69 knots, pretty nice. They do kind of lack the punch as other tier 10 destroyers have, but they do reload very, very quickly, 68.9 seconds. So pretty darn quick. You don't have as many torpedoes as other tier 10s. You only have 8 versus, say, 10, 15, or 20. So that's the only bad thing. Now, unfortunately, I've kind of got myself into a bad position. I don't really have a very good escape route. I do have to actually start reversing just to be able to maneuver away from this island. Now, that's probably another thing, is the turning circle radius is quite bad. 700 meters, and we are detected by the enemy Z-52. And is the Sun Tzu warriors. Let's see if we can take them out. And unfortunately, there is 2v1 destroyers, and it's a very good time to try to get out of here. Gonna try our best. Gonna see if we can drop some torpedoes in on them. Looks like they have offset my torpedo tube, so unfortunately, we're just gonna have to rely on getting out of here as quickly as possible. The Z-52 has popped his own hydro as at the exact same time I did as well. But we should be able to get out of here with minimal amount of damage. So, well, not really minimal. I've lost about 10,000 points of health. But hey, that additional loss of health increases the reload time of my torpedoes. So I will gladly take that. Alright, so the enemy team has been pushed out of B. Ski is currently going to fully cap C. And we have lost A to the enemy Benson. So at the moment, the enemy team is ahead in points and caps, but this is the beginning of the battle, so things will change quite drastically. Now, obviously, there is a tier 10 carrier in this game, and the AA guns are actually pretty decent. They're not amazing. I'm not saying they're fantastically amazing like a Grosavoy or even a Gearing, but they can pack a wallop whenever you need them. So do keep in mind, you do have decent AA, so if you do get in a bit of a spot of trouble, do pop them. Now we have popped our torpedoes, dropped our torpedoes on that smoke screen. Looks like they are laying a smoke screen around. And let's see if we can get some torpedo hits. Now, obviously there is a destroyer in the B cap, and he is preventing me from even trying to cap, and unfortunately I'm gonna actually have to pull out because, well, hey, we got a torpedo, caused the flooding, that's nice, but it looks like they instantly repaired, so he is susceptible to any potential fires or additional flooding. But yes, I'm gonna have to pull out because, well, that's a lot of enemy forces down on the southwest section of B. It looks like they are smoke camping and using that smoke to prevent from taking any damage. So I don't want to get that close to him. Don't want a potential of taking a lot of damage. And we are detected by the enemy Shimikaze. Now, as you saw there, we were detected quite a while before the enemy team, or better yet, before we detected them. So that is quite unfortunate, and the Shimikaze is going to dip out. Now, detection on the Z-52 is only 6.1 kilometers, so Shimikaze and the gearing have better detection than you do, so you do have to be well aware that they will be able to detect you before you can. And right now, we're just kind of long range shooting at the Z-52, trying to get some damage. We are being focused on by 4 ships at one time, but we should be able to slip away. And let's just pull away. Enemy carrier is dropping us. He is bringing in his torpedo planes. But we're actually going to head and try to get moving. Got to be extremely careful. Once again, your AA is pretty decent. But right now we need maneuverability more so than AA. But I think we should be able to get out of this. Kerfers secondaries are going like crazy. There we have actually finally shot down a plane. And unfortunately that smoke is going to go to waste due to the fact that I've had to actually maneuver my way out of my own smoke stream. So that is unfortunate. And now here comes the dive bombers. Midway dive bombers are going to hurt. Yikes. Well, that is unfortunate. We have taken a hit. Did have to blame it. Use our damage control. But looks like the Kerfers is now pushing out. I doubt these torpedoes are going to hit anything. That is way outside the range of these torpedoes. But you never know, you might get lucky. So the enemy team has officially taken control of B due to the fact that there are essentially 2 destroyers still down at B, fully preventing me from even trying to cap it. Let's see, I believe Ski is currently dealing with a enemy Minotaur and hoping to drop on him. Now, Minotaurs are very frightening, and you really can't do anything with them unless you get very, very close. So try to stay outside their range. I would not recommend rushing a Minotaur whenever you are in a destroyer. Alright, so enemy team has full control of B. Might as well try to contest B. We are down in points. We are at least ahead in the type of ships. We have taken out a enemy battleship while they have taken out a enemy or friendly cruiser. So I guess that is one good thing. It looks like the enemy destroyers are no longer in around B. It looks like they're actually with the friendly Kerfers, and the enemy Kerfers, and the enemy Kerfers has just gone down to torpedo planes from the friendly Midway. So it looks like we should be able to cap out B fairly easily. I believe Ski is now coming our way, and we're going to try to drop torpedoes on the enemy Minotaur, but I don't think this is actually going to work out. But hey, look at that. We have just taken out at least 2 more ships compared to the enemy team. So now we are finally in a point lead, which is very well needed because we have actually been on a deficit for a little while. But the enemy Yamatos are doing the full pull back and just sit and fire guns. So, although I will have to point out our friendly Yamatos aren't doing so hot at the moment. Let's see. Z-52 is finally spotted, and we are spotted by the enemy Midway and targeted by the Shimikaze. Yep, there we go. Gotta get those guns turned. Gonna go ahead and slow up and pop my hydro. Now the Shimikaze is in a world of hurt because he's actually not able to detect us. So now we can just go ahead and start pummeling away, and he does the smart decision of turning in, going bow on. But honestly, he is too much. He's in too deep. He's not going to be able to get out of this. Went ahead and switched over to HE. and should get the kill. There we go. Very, very nice. Got the kill on the enemy Shimikaze, and we're going to go ahead and move out of the smoke because more than likely, well, look at that. The Moskva got detonated by the enemy Shimikaze. Was concerned that the Shimikaze dropped torpedoes, but I think we should be fine. Now it looks like the enemy Yamatos are finally able, or better yet, decide to put on their man pants and decide to push up. Now there is still one destroyer left on the enemy team. There is still that pesky little Benson. Last seen location was down at A, and I wonder where he might be. Alright, we'll see where he might be showing up. Yamato is starting to push out, but not very quickly. And we're going to go ahead and start pull away. Once again, the detection on the Z-52 is 6.1. And oh, looky there. There is a smoke screen appearing right in front of the Yamatos. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm really hyping it up. But Benson obviously is smoking up the Yamatos, which I will have to say is not a bad idea. And it looks like the Yamato just took 2 torpedoes, caused double flooding. And I believe he does repair it. But look at this. Our torpedoes are up once again. And any moment now we should be able to drop on this Yamato. Now Yamato's probably going to try to slow down in the smoke screen. If he doesn't, I'd be very surprised on this. Alright, so nice thing, as you can tell, having the torpedoes able to reload that quickly is extremely amazing, because it just, you can dump out so many torpedoes at once. Usually you can get at least 2 salvos off per cycle, so that is actually really nice. Now it does look like a enemy Alabama has decided to push out as well. Now he has, and ooh, look at that, 3 torpedo hits on the Yamato and 2 flooding, so hopefully he should start flooding off here in the future. Now this Alabama, he's been at A for some time and really hasn't pushed out all that much, so we haven't seen him. And oh, look at there, we got a kill. Got a kill on the enemy Yamato, so that is 1 less tier 10, and we got a few amount of flooding damage, but unfortunately did not get wither or any flooding metals. Alright, so Alabama is starting to push in. Gonna go ahead, try to pull away. The turning circle radius is kind of a problem, but it's not the worst thing. As long as you give yourself enough time, you should be fine. Now we do have a smoke left, but I think if we should just be careful and just go ahead and pull away. Let's see if we can get this Alabama dead with these torpedoes. Now once again, the torpedoes are not as potent, and I really wish they were a little bit more powerful, but unfortunately it's just not going to be the case. Let's see how many torpedoes we get. Look at that, 5 torpedoes and 3 floodings, but this Alabama is going to get away with it. He does have a damage control, so unfortunately we don't get the damage from flooding for us, which is unfortunate. Now I do have to be extremely careful. There's still the Baltimore alive and well. Am concerned that he may try to radar. There's also dive bombers incoming, and we are detected, and we're gonna go ahead and pop our own smoke screen. Don't want to chance any potential of the Baltimore firing at us, but honestly I kind of regret doing this. You will see why. Popping this smoke screen is going to come back and bite me, which is extremely unfortunate. But I go ahead and decide to focus my attention on the Alabama. Let's see if we actually get the kill. Looks like he is starting to come towards us. The angle on that did throw me off, but we should start hitting him. There we go. Finally get some actual shell hits. We actually haven't shot our guns and used our guns quite a bit all throughout this match, but we get the 3rd kill of the game. We get the Alabama, and he gets a essentially a blind fire on us, but Looks like Ski has taken out the enemy at Baltimore, and the Benson is now running away from everyone due to the fact that he just lost all his friends. All right, enemy Midway is still alive and kicking. Still sitting in planes. It looks like he might try to go for the curve first. I'm concerned that he might try to go for us. Oh, looky there, he is. Oh, this is gonna be close. Oh. Need to speed up. There we go. Alright, we're good. Our friendly Midway is doing his very best to try to assist us. But unfortunately for us, our AA has actually diminished. Unfortunately, I don't think I can actually show... Yes, there we go. Let's actually see how many guns I still have left. AA guns, we have quite a few of our short range. We've lost our mid range, and obviously we still have our long range. So our main damage dealing AA guns are still kicking, so that is good. We can try to assist, but fortunately for us, our friendly Midway has just lost all of his fighters. And do you remember that smoke that I was just mentioned a few minutes ago that I regret popping? Yeah, I'm gonna regret it here in just a little bit. So if anyone did not know, the Midway has really good dive bombers due to the fact that they use 1,000-pound bombs and is extremely devastating if it hits a destroyer. Now the enemy CV is starting to reverse, trying to get out of there, but we are doing our very best to actually keep up the attack. And switching over to AP, since he is showing us a broadside, but it looks like he's trying to get his trying to kill us off, and we do get the kill, but I think he might have set it to automatic drop, and yes, he exacts his revenge on us. And overall, not too bad. That is actually going to be almost game. All that's left is the enemy Benson. We have done 129,477 points of damage, 4 kills, 57 shell hits, 11 torpedo hits, and unfortunately for me, I am a total scrub. I completely forgot to take pictures, screenshots of the end screen, of the victory screen, so unfortunately I do not have that to show you. But instead we're going to go ahead and jump into the port, and we will discuss the Z-52 and all her stats and all her glory. Hopefully this will help you guys, especially if you are deciding to grind up the German destroyer line. Hopefully this will help you on whether or not it's worth the pain and annoyance of those low tier German destroyers, especially 5, 6, and maybe 7. So this is going to be it for this battle. Gonna go ahead and jump into the port. See you guys there. Alright everyone, welcome back to the port, and the Z-52, not a bad ship. Honestly, she's not that much different from the Z-46 except for a few minor things. As far as I can tell, and I actually made sure I went and tested the ship. For whatever reason, the Z-52, I'm actually having a little bit more difficult time getting those battles that I've encountered with the Z-46. And I don't exactly know why. And I think there's a few minor things that are obviously a little bit different. There's some good things and some bad things that make her a little bit better and a little bit worse. But if you play the Z-46 and you like her, you'll like the Z-52. But once again, there are a few things that are obviously very different. Let's start off with survivability. Survivability, not bad. 23,800. Now, there's a few things I should point out. My captain does have survivability expert. Actually, let's actually quickly... Yep, survivability expert on the captain, which gives the additional health, which is nice. But honestly, it's not that much more points of health compared to the Z-46. I think it's about 760, something like that. So it's not that much more than the Z-46, but it does help you to be tanky. And being tanky is very beneficial because the ship, it just does not seem to deal very well against damage, especially against battleship AP. Does tend to eat it, and that's kind of a common thing that's starting to be apparent whenever dealing with battleships. Especially Montanas are very devastating against destroyers. So overall, health is not bad. Definitely the tankiest destroyer in the game, even compared to, say, my Habdosh. Habdosh has about 22,500, and I think the other tiers are going to be a lot lower. So Z-52 has the most amount of health compared to all the other destroyers, but the Z-52 only has 20 millimeters, while the Habdosh has about 50 at the most, and Shimikaze also has about 20. So as far as armor is concerned, it's not bad. It does have a little bit more armor compared to, say, the Shimikaze in certain areas, but yeah, it's definitely the tankiest. All right, moving on to the guns. The guns are exactly the same as the Z46 with a few minor differences. Let's take a look. All right. Reload time 4 seconds, exactly the same. Turn times is 10 seconds. Dispersion at 12.1 kilometers versus 11 kilometers. 98 meters versus 97 meters for the Z46. Really good. Have to say, really good on that fact. Max HE damage, exact same, 1500, but there is one difference with the chance of fire. The Z46 had a 7.5% fire chance. Now you're saying 0.5% isn't that much different, but hey, 0.5 is 0.5. So Z-52 has a 7% fire chance, which is okay. If anything, if you have a battleship or whatever have you showing you battle, you want to switch to HE just to get actual penetration damage or get that fire chance, which is beneficial. Max AP damage is the exact same as the Z46, 3,000 points of damage. And I don't know why, but it seems to me like I have a little bit more difficult time with these guns. And one major thing is the placement of the guns. As you can see, the Z-52 has 2 guns in the front, 1 turret in the rear, while the Z-46 had 1 turret in the front and 2 turrets in the rear. So that allowed the Z-46 to pull away while keeping at least the majority of our guns on target. Now, do keep in mind that the second turret can actually rotate very far back in the towards the stern of the ship. So you can use that second turret. It's just not as beneficial as the Z-46 if you need to pull away. And sometimes, and I catch myself doing it, I tend to be a little bit more aggressive with the Z-52, and I really don't mean to. And I think it might be due to the fact that the turret's placement is more aggressive compared to the Z-46, which is more defensively designed. That's at least my theory. And whenever facing off against enemy ships, I don't seem to rack up the damage like I was doing at the Z-46. And I've been I even took it into the training room and tried against a Minotaur, tried against Montana. At certain distances, you can lose potential damage due to the fact that the arcing of the shell, for example, the Minotaur, the only way you can actually citadel a Minotaur is if you are within 4.0 kilometers away from it. Yikes, don't want to be that close to Minotaur, but that's the only route you can actually citadel, because I've had so many instances where I could not citadel a Minotaur due to the fact that it's just the arcing of the shell. And I don't know, I feel like the guns aren't as powerful, but there's nothing different from them. Maybe it's just me, but at times it's just frustrating. But yeah, once again, I've been trying to get more battles under my belt with the Z-52 so I could give you guys a better impression on it whenever I actually took her out. Torpedoes, exact same. The only few differences is the range is 0.5 kilometers further, and they go about 2 knots faster than the Z-46. Damage output is the same. Only other minor difference is the turn time on the turrets are about a few seconds better than the Z-46. But honestly, that's about it. Not a big difference. Speed's the same, 68.9. So very similar to the Z-46. All right, so a lot of things that I have mentioned that are very similar to the Z-46. This is one of the few things where the Z-52 is actually superior to the Z-46. It is the AA guns. They are actually really, really good. They're decent. Okay, I won't say they're amazing, but they're decent even if you don't have the ability to use AA Madness. But starting off, you have 7 dual 37 millimeters. They have an average damage of 72 with a 3.5 kilometer range. Then you have 3 single 55 millimeters, average damage 52 with a 5 kilometer range, and your main guns operate additional AA. Average damage is 45 at a 5 kilometer range. So your short range AA guns are going to be where your real beef of the damage is coming from. But overall, not too bad. So if you want, you can spec the Z-52 up with some a little bit more AA. But I will actually talk about that in a little bit, but I did not go with that. Alright, so AA is pretty good. Let's take a look at maneuverability. Once again, max speed, exactly the same as Z-46. 39.4 knots, exactly the same. Difference is the turning circle radius is actually bigger for the Z-52. Z-52 is 700 meters, while the Z-46 is around 680 meters, so about 20 meters more. Can become a slight problem. That really makes her not very maneuverable. So do keep that in mind. Like, for example, Shimakaze actually has 690. I believe the gearing is kind of sluggish in that area. It feels like a lot of the tier 10 destroyers are very bad at the turning circle radius. Not as nimble as they used to be, I guess. But anyways, rudder shift time is 3.6 seconds, exactly the same as the Z-46. Concealment. Well, as you probably guess, concealment's a little bit more than the Z-46, which is unfortunate because the Z-46 with its 5.9 kilometer range was actually beneficial because you could outspot, or better yet, you can spot the tier 10 destroyers at the exact same time that they spot you. Not so much with the Z-52. Granted, it's only about 200 meters more, but that is 200 meters that would give the enemy destroyer an opportunity to turn its guns or decide what to do. Detectability range 6.1. Granted, not as bad as obviously the Russian destroyers. I believe the Grossovoy is actually better at 6 kilometers, and the Havdash, as you can tell, is 8.7, and the Gearing and the Shima both have 5.9. So, kind of in the middle of the road. Kind of annoying at times because technically you are the second largest destroyer as far as detectability, right behind the Habdash. Do keep that in mind. But if you're detected, you do have a few tricks up your sleeve which can help you out. Detectability range by air is 3.8. She's kind of big as far as that concerned. Habarash obviously has the biggest. Grossovoy has 3.9, and I believe both the Gearing and the Shimakaze have very, very similar 3.8. So not as bad as some of the Russian destroyers, but still not the greatest in the world. Alright, let's finally move on to the modules. First thing you will notice, there's actually an upgrade for the torpedoes, and it is essentially giving you additional range and speed. Gives you the 0.5 and the 2 additional knots. So essentially, when you first start off with the Z-52, you will be running the Z-46 torpedoes. So definitely get this upgrade. It definitely does help with that additional speed and range. Alright. Slight difference and slight change from what I've had on the Z-46. I actually switched from the A gun mod 2, which increases your range. I switched over to the aiming system mod 1 because for whatever reason it seems like the gun's dispersion grew worse over time. Every time I used them, it seemed like they would go radically everywhere. So I did switch over to this. I might eventually switch back just to test it out a little bit more. But I've had decent luck, and the dispersions are very, very nice with the Z-52. Alright, moving on to another change to the Z-52 versus the Z-46. Major thing is the hydro. Finally, you get the powerful German hydro at 5.88 kilometer. You can detect a ship. So within 300 meters, if you are detected, you can slow down, pop your smoke, and pop your hydro. Now, this is a good technique, especially if you are pushing cap, and you have a good way to actually just harass and hopefully kill any enemy destroyer that decides to push into cap. So this Z-52, including the Z-46, are great ships to push caps. They're great bullies to push into caps and take control of it. But you always have to be aware that there are radar and other ships with hydro. So be aware of the enemy team's list, and you should do fine on all accounts. All right, moving on to captain. The captain's 19 points. Probably starting off priority target, then last stand, superintendent, just for the additional consumables. Concealment experts is extremely beneficial. Going back, I went for originally adrenaline rush, torpedo armament expertise, which is very beneficial because if you take in a substantial amount of damage, plus this captain skill allows your torpedoes to reload very, very quickly. And your first set of torpedoes can still be on their way while you're able to launch another set. So very, very powerful, and that is very beneficial because your torpedoes don't hit as hard as other tier 10 destroyers do. So nice to have that additional reload time whenever possible. Then I went for survivability expert, gives you additional 350 points of health per tier, so 3,500 additional points of health. Very nice to have. And last one was preventative maintenance, just to reduce the incapacitation of my modules. So as of right now, I'm liking the Z-52. I definitely will need to play her a little bit more just to get the feel for her, because like I said, she's very, very similar to the Z-46. Just for whatever reason, I don't get quite the same results. Now, granted, you could probably argue saying that I'm no longer in tier 7 battles. That is very, very true. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll come back to it at a later point. But anyways, this is going to be it for this episode of World of Warships. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.